Noxie, the TOKYORE owner, went on a baby rage at the ripe age of 35, rivaling low-tier god in not only looks but also behavior, because I said his dogpile-ass game has worse if not similar combat to Guri. The whole thing kicked off because he started frothing at the mouth from a lighthearted 2-second joke. A joke! I poked fun at the shitty game once and he storms my DMs acting like I pissed on his grave. He goes on to show me this clip that makes his game look even shittier. The AI does a 3-part move, there's an initial visual indicator for danger, he parries the first part, and right here, the skill should stall, especially on some small ass AI like this. If this was a large boss, a continuation of attacks makes sense, and then after he gets ragdolled, there's another visual indicator, but he can't do shit because he's mid ragdoll. And this clip was picked and curated by him, so my first instinct was to laugh, and I quote out the horrible sound design for it. Then he proceeds to nitpick a 2-year-old passive that I didn't even fucking make. I literally told him so. Then he plays some passive-aggressive ring around the rosy game where he doesn't even get to the point. Mind you, I don't give a fuck about this guy. I just woke up in a steaming mood and I have some fucking uncle sitting in my DMs being a beg. I'll be crystal clear, TOKYORE has good maps, good AI, fluid animation, sure, it has its praises worth mentioning, but the combat is pure dog shit, clunky, unresponsive, and clearly designed by someone who thinks steel ceiling is a fancy lighting fixture. The game sells through Patreon for $25, which is against Roblox TOS. Sneaks are locked behind a paywall, and the public sneak channel is used to either post dog shit sneaks or this video in order to disparage my image and the game's. And not only that, but you can pay for this fuck ass game that feels like repeatedly plunging a blunt object in your eyes. You have parry VFX that look like fucking fireworks, and one thing that genuinely baffles me is you accuse me of being egotistical because of things that have nothing to do with the conversation. I never claimed to be some amazing sound designer, nor do I have an ego for it. It has nothing to do with your game being shit.
I might have even allowed him to work for the game, and maybe this video that he made never would have gotten made.
I want to see you make a video shitting on your game before, but it would have been irrelevant because nobody fucking talks or talked about it outside of Revolver, who has an insanely large following in comparison to mine. So me making a video on it is just not worth the return on investment.
All of his sound effects come from sound packs that you can just go buy. So it's like he somehow formed this massive ego around sound design.
You say sound design is like this crazy, easy compile shit, buy Sunpack. Cool. If that's how it is, why is your game so fucking tone deaf? I mean, you have the resources to fix it and clearly the knowledge, so fix it. It doesn't matter if your game has all these good things about it if the most important part of it, which is the combat, is fucking bad. Your game sounds like you have fridge sounds and pans being hit. I'm not gonna bother painting pictures anymore. I'll just compare your sounds, your combat, and your VFX to AEGIS.
Broken all the time.
That AEGIS is newer than TOKYORE. Funny enough, if you just go to the actual creation page of the game, or you just go to the page, game page on Roblox, you can just check the created date, and you can see that AEGIS was made in 2022 and TOKYORE was made in 2023.
You're comparing AEGIS, a passion project made by teenagers working for free, to your wallet-funded disaster that's been in development longer than it's even being playable. You're a grown man with money and you hire devs. What is your excuse for your combat still feeling like moving through fucking molasses? And you can't even use the argument that AEGIS has been in dev dev for longer because it's a on and off thing. The project's progressions only skyrocketed recently in the last 3 months when we started treating it as a business. We're updating it daily, and you give your community a sneak of you making a shit video on me that encompasses nothing. Literally, most if not all your comments are people telling you to drop the game because this drama shit isn't worth it, and it certainly isn't for you. Just stay in your fucking lane and do your deving.
Hurt box. Because you have iframes, the attack will simply pass through you. This is a very common thing, and he has it in his own game, so I'm not really sure how he would have mistaken this. Unless he's just being intentionally deceitful or malicious for whatever reason.
Yes, I was aware that it's a dash frame. I used it because there's no real visual indicator. It was done as a means of building entertainment for the video rather than completely shitting on your game. But of course, you're brain dead and egoistic, so me even mentioning your name made you quake in your boots. You started getting heartburns. It was all done as a means of entertainment. I have 30 seconds to sell a video. It's how content creation works, dummy. This grown-ass man threw it together a whole video trying to paint me as deceitful and malicious because his fragile little ego couldn't take a simple criticism. You could have just messaged me directly saying, hey man, I didn't appreciate that. But no, you decided to beat around the bush like a passive-aggressive outback grass-eating animal incapable of confrontation. You go on to say that you did in the video because like every nerdy, sniveling pussy, you like to have some cuckold daydream fantasy of what you could have done instead of what you actually did. You guys can read through this. I just can't give enough of a shit to bother explaining more of it. Make of it what you will.
Wrote a little YouTube comment, and I basically just kind of clarified it, and I was very kind, very, gentle about it. I wasn't trying to be cocky or egotistical or anything weird. I was just simply correcting the guy because maybe he just had it wrong. That was my assumption. He was just confused, right? So I made that comment on YouTube, and then just to make sure he saw the message because, YouTuber, he's got a few thousand subscribers, and his videos usually get a decent amount of comments and interaction. I went to his DM.
I didn't delete your comment, you troglodyte. There's a filtering system within every YouTube channel. You said something that was clearly deemed as inappropriate by YouTube, and it got automatically deleted. I didn't even know you watched the video. I thought somebody clipped that snippet out and it showed it to you, and then you just fucking went ballistic in my messages.
Was even more confused to find out that he actually liked the game prior to that clip that he posted. Well, anyways, I go ahead and I
tell him the same thing, basically, just a bit more casually this time because it's private. And it's not.
And don't even try to twist it into some personal vendetta just because I didn't hop on your garbage project. I gave you a fake compliment in order to appease you because I wanted money. I never cared for your game outside of that. You egoed it. Who gives a shit? I moved on instantly. But let's be real. Your game's fluidity and combat was always ass, and no amount of passive-aggressive whining will change that. Am I egotistical? Probably. And am I talking shit on your game to push mine even though it's the truth? Absolutely. But here's the difference. If my game is shit, call it out. Rip me apart. Unlike you, I won't curl up in a fetal position and cry in people's DMs with passive-aggressive shit as a millennial over criticism. If it's true, it's true. There's no hurt feelings here. But you're a sniveling pussy who takes any criticism like a bullet to the chest. This is comparable to somebody being insulted, pulling a shotgun out and then shooting the person. It's just not necessary. How are you ever gonna survive in this domain if you get mentally farmed by a 2-second lighthearted joke? There is no drama. I called your game shit, which it is. Whether you consider that opinion subjective or objective, I don't give a fuck. But clearly, I pulled on one of your heartstrings, and you yourself consider the game to be shit. If you have the psychological need to somehow prove to me that the game isn't as shit as it seems, I want you to understand nobody incited you to make this dumbass video. Nobody even told you or gave you reason to. You just did this because your inflated little man ego couldn't handle somebody simply saying your game sucks. Grow up.
Okay, I'm